Good afternoon. It's another episode of Interesting Person talking about an interesting issue. I have Miss Kaliyah Hughes with me on this afternoon. She is a young lady that is very accomplished, and I really admire her drive and her success and what she has achieved in life. I recommended her to James Hole as one of the most successful young people under the age of 30. She's very accomplished. One of the things that I most admire her about is that she is from West Point, Mississippi, and she graduated college and high school in the same week, one on Friday, the other one on Saturday. And she already has her doctor's degree. So she
Hmm.
is Dr. Kaliyah Hughes.
Yes.
She is a young woman who has achieved a lot of success in a short period of time. And I just wanted to celebrate her to talk about how she achieved all of this success in such a short amount of time. She's a part of what I have been doing here lately on my series, Successful Under the Age of 30, somebody who is young, driven, and somebody who has achieved a high level of success both professionally and personally. I wanted to interview her to talk about how she got to this high level of success so quick, how she was driven, how she was focused. And I'm going to give her her proper due, which is Dr. Kaliyah Hughes.
Hmm.
I'm going to let her introduce herself and talk a little bit about herself, and then we're going to go a little further.
All right. Hi. Um, I'm Kaliyah Hughes, Dr. Kaliyah Hughes. I have my doctorate degree in professional counseling. I am currently a licensed professional counselor with a certification in human services. I currently work in Virginia with Anova ERs. I am a emergency psychiatric clinician, and there I just do the psychiatric evaluations for approximately 5 ERs with an additional 4 health plexes. I am
So you work for
currently,
4 different hospitals.
yes, under the same umbrella,
Umbrella.
just different locations.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah, I am currently in the works of starting my private practice
Okay.
as well as a nonprofit organization where I will assist the community with resources acting as a community liaison.
Okay, but you're going to start your practice in Virginia.
Yes.
So you are going to go into private practice. You work for a multi corporation right now.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about, because I want to go back because I did talk about in the introduction how you graduated high school and college early. Talk a little bit about that process.
Yeah, I graduated high school in 2017.
Got you.
Now, it wasn't the same week.
Yeah.
I graduated community college, East Mississippi, like 2 weeks before. I
High
got,
school.
yes,
Yeah, right.
and I got my diploma like the end of May. I started taking the dual enrollment courses my junior year of high
Got you.
school. So I did both where I went on campus at Mayhew as well as taking the college courses. So I spent some of my time on campus.
At Mayhew, East
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi.
Yes. But it was dual enrollment. It wasn't the early college. So I was still maintaining like both high school coursework as well as the community college coursework.
But you graduated, which one did you graduate first, college or high school?
College.
So you graduated college first, then
Mm-hmm.
high school.
Yeah.
So, and then you went, where did you go from there?
I went to Southern Miss.
Southern Miss, and you
Yeah.
got your,
My bachelor's in psychology.
okay, and then what's next?
I went into the community mental health field.
Okay.
So I graduated from Southern Miss in 2018. So I did approximately a year and a half there, went in as a junior.
Yeah.
And a few months later, I entered the community mental health field as an intensive community support specialist. So I work with a court order program for
Got you.
individuals experiencing SMI.
And that's in Hattiesburg.
Yes.
Okay.
So I stayed there, did that for some time. So while doing that, I got my clinical mental health counseling master's degree from the West Alabama. So soon after that, I spent a little bit more time doing intensive community outpatient services, and then I moved on to a children therapist. Did that for a year. Also did some social services work with the nursing home as well as clinical assistance in group homes for men with SMI. And after that, I
So you were working and going to school at the same time.
uh-huh.
and you were never not just in school. You was kind of doing both.
Correct.
Now, how did you find the time to do all of that? Or was it just you were driven, focused, or you wanted to both supplement your college education, or you just was just driven?
I was just driven.
You wasn't driven.
I was.
You was driven.
I was driven.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. You just,
It was tough. It was difficult.
yeah,
It was really difficult. A lot of like nights and along with community mental health. And me speaking or treating individuals with schizophrenia at their baseline, psychotic, delusional, and I was helping them navigate like within the community.
yeah,
So getting to appointments, learning independent living skills, things of that sort. And a lot of them were like lower income, lack
yeah,
of support. So I was doing a lot. I was giving a lot emotionally to them and having to go home and stay up all night doing work. It wasn't a complicated program because
yeah,
I already had the knowledge, was actually living through some of the things that I was experiencing.
right.
So I was applying my knowledge to my experiences with the individuals I was working with. So it wasn't difficult, just time consuming, I would say.
So you were already, as far as mentally equipped
Mm-hmm.
to kind of go into this, and really it's a passion.
Yeah.
So what? Tell me about where the passion comes from for mental health.
I remember in the ninth grade, I cannot remember exactly where it started, but I had this thing against suicide.
Gotcha.
Thank God I was never suicidal, but I hated suicide. I always
Right.
felt like there was a reason to celebrate something, there was a reason to be happy. And I wanted to be the one that individuals could come to
Right.
when they are experiencing emotional distress, they don't feel valued, supported, or hurt. I wanted to be that for that individual. And it just took off from there.
So, but you didn't know anybody that personally committed suicide. It was just a
Nope.
passion
Mm-hmm.
because you knew that life was worth living.
Correct.
And so, tell me something about this idea of, why did you choose the mental health field in order to go into? And I understand you were in high schools.
Mm-hmm.
You were inspired by the fact that you thought life was worth living. Suicide was one of the things. So, is it anybody in your family, in your background, that had an influence, a mentor that kind of led you in that field?
Excuse me. No, there wasn't anybody in particular who inspired me to go into mental health.
Yeah.
Of course, as individuals, we all have, childhood things that
Yeah.
occur in life, which kind of shape, how we respond to
Yeah.
other people, how we respond to different situations. And honestly, it definitely inspires like what we choose to do as an adult in our career. Um, so there wasn't anybody in particular,
Right.
not one said experience or anything
Yeah.
that led me to, and chose the mental health field. It was just wanting to be that help or that safe space for other people.
Yeah, and because it's really about when you talk about mental health services, doing assessments, it's getting in people's heads,
Mm-hmm.
mapping behavior and understanding the chemical imbalances and all this, and then environmental stresses that factor in. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because it does, it's mentally taxing for you
Mm-hmm.
to put that much into people,
Right.
and then you have to go home and you have to hit the reset button and live a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what made you at such a young age? Because you're just what, 26?
Mm-hmm.
26 years old. You're taking on all of this
Yeah.
in the lives of other people, and at the same time trying to live your life. Talk about that challenge of trying to be such a catalyst in other people's lives
Yeah.
and maintain your own sanity.
Yeah. It took a while for me to get to the point where I was able to dissociate myself from work. So not carrying home, not carrying work home with me.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's very fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
I receive like an instant gratification in hearing people or experiencing people being open
Yeah.
and vulnerable with me.
Yeah.
Especially with the African American community.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily value or we don't honor being vulnerable.
Well, it's a stigma
Mm-hmm.
to seek any mental health
Yeah.
care or any mental health practitioner because it's a stigma.
Right.
We say you're crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and we shy away from the mental health issues that are in our community, and really they're more in our community because we have more trauma.
Yeah.
you know, just
Definitely.
being black, and then some of our
Mhm.
environmental and family experiences, family trauma.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a passion that drives you
Mhm.
to really get into that. So, talk about, you know, how did you achieve all of this success by really aged, what, 24, 25?
You're 25.
25 years
Yeah.
old, you hit the ground running and
Mhm.
you haven't stopped running and you're still running,
Yeah.
still driven. And talk about how did you get that passion? Because I want you to inspire
Uh
other
huh.
young people. I mean, by 25 years old, you're Dr. Kaliyah
Yeah.
Hughes, working in Virginia from West Point, particularly the Salon community. Now you're up
Mhm.
there with the Upper Epsilon
Yeah.
of people. Tell me about that.
I still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
So just
The
license
fact that you even
degree.
say that,
Yes, I.
that is just absolutely amazing. That
Yeah.
by 25, you're
Yeah.
Dr. Kaliyah Hughes, living in Virginia, already got a corporate job, finna try
Mhm.
to get into private practice, you know, some community liaison, nonprofit. And you say you're
Yeah.
still running. You got a
Yeah.
long ways to go.
I do. I do. I am grateful to say I am living out my dreams.
Yeah.
Everything that I've prayed for, dreamed of, I'm actually living it.
Yeah.
But I do know that there's still so much more work to produce, so much more to give to the community, so much growing for me to do professional. If I'm being humble, but how did I start this passion? It was honestly it was a mindset that I knew I was destined for greatness or like not to be average, but not in a
But
like an
okay,
arrogant
okay,
way.
that's not a small thing to really
Yeah.
just gloss over. You I mean, because to say that is and to live that is two different things.
Mhm.
You say you were always knew you were destined for
Mhm.
greatness. Okay, when did you know that? Okay, at what age, at what season, at what time, at what stage
Yeah.
did you realize you were destined for greatness?
I think it was when I started doing the dual enrollment courses.
Gotcha.
So going through high school, of course I was this nice kid. Everybody liked me. Really sweet girl. Everybody was able to confide in me. So I was the one that people would refer their friends to, like, hey, Kaliyah, can you call and talk to blah blah blah? Like even in high school.
Gotcha.
So I didn't think anything of it. Still knowing that I like helping people, I like being that for them. I was applying for some coursework, and I was like, I'm just gonna go get my degree. Like I'm gonna get it before I graduate high school. No planning, just like some delusion, if I'm being honest. And I
Right.
was like, I can make it happen. So let's just make it happen. And I think then that was when I realized that I don't have to be average, or I'm not
Yeah.
meant to be average. And I didn't see it a lot in my family either.
Yeah.
So I didn't see success being attainable
Yeah.
according to how I view it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have no college graduates really in my family. Nobody actually completed it. So
You're the first.
mhm.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess that too, knowing that I was destined for greatness and not wanting to be average, I guess I saw it first with my family, like within my family.
Yeah.
So then I got the degree, and I saw a lot of people celebrating me, congratulating, oh, you're crazy for doing this. How are you able to get your degree at one time or right before? How are you like doing making all these sacrifices and all this coursework? And it didn't bother me. Like it wasn't a tedious process, time consuming rather. There were of course some hard nights, some moments where it was difficult, but overall it wasn't. And so I think just that, and I just made every goal. I just treated every goal like a non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable.
Uh-huh.
So you're saying you knew you were destined for greatness, and based upon that assumption that you had in your mind, obstacles and anything stopping you, it was
Non-existent.
non-negotiable.
Yeah,
It
it was.
didn't
It didn't
exist.
happen. Yeah.
Nothing was going to get in
Mhm.
my way. Nothing could get in my way.
Exactly.
I'm going to do this, hell or high water.
Mhm.
But now, where does that come from? Does it come from faith, determination? Does it come from a passion that want to help people? Does it come from a passion to walk into that greatness? Where
Yeah.
does that? Because I really want to try to tap down into that, because that's a rare.
Yeah.
That's something that's rare in people.
Yeah. I would say all of those. Definitely purpose, faith, determination, and most importantly, I wanted to be the one that my nieces and my nephews, my little cousins looked up. Because like I mentioned, I didn't see success or legacy or financial abundance
Yeah.
or a lot of notary comment like within my family. I didn't see that attainable.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be the role model
Yeah.
or that positive influence for my nieces, my little cousins, my nephews. I wanted them to see me like being that, going after what I want, and knowing that you don't have to be confined in one spot. You don't have to stay here. You don't have to depend on this, or like you too can be successful. Like you too can do big things and great things.
But that's a lot to take on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
At 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, that's a lot to take on. But the pressure didn't come from your family.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't your mom and dad saying you got to go and achieve this,
No.
you got to go do this, you got to be the person to break the glass ceiling. It was all stuff you took, and I think that's how you walk into purpose and destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Is when it's something you pick up instead of something that's laid on you. Because nobody expected you to be where you are.
Right.
Nobody set this standard and said, Kaliyah, you gonna get your master's, you're gonna get your doctorate, you're gonna move to Virginia, you're gonna do this. Mm-hmm. It was just your own passion, driven from a desire. And I still want to try to dig that out.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's deep.
Yeah.
That you don't get people who are built like that. Mm-hmm. And I want to try to figure out at what point did you become so inspired and so motivated that because you might not be able to tap into it. And I think it's a God thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's a God thing. I think if you say you knew you were destined for greatness, I think it says he who has begun a great work in us will complete that work.
Yeah.
And I think so, but I want to try to figure out where that motivation comes from. And it doesn't look like it's dying or dwindling at all.
No.
So let's tap down deep and tell me, was it a single event? And you said it wasn't a person. Mm-mm. It's just motivating. Was it watching TV, a character, or something?
It wasn't. I think it was just a divine calling, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's the way you're built.
Yeah.
I think God packaged you with these level of gifts and talents, and this spark of inspiration, this giftedness.
Yeah.
And very few people are able to tap into the gift God put in them. Mm-hmm. And you just channeled that and stuck with it, glued yourself to it, and stayed focused. Now let's talk a little bit about, this career path that you're on. Mm-hmm. What made you have enough drive to say, hey, I'm going to get up out of here and go all the way to Virginia? When you were in Hattiesburg, you probably could have built your career there. Mm-hmm. And then you're moving away from family. You don't know anybody. Yeah. So let's talk about that step.
I'm going to be honest. I enjoyed my time in Hattiesburg. I was thriving there career-wise, according to Mississippi standards, financially as well. Yeah. Then I got a call, and it was the money.
It was the money.
It was the money.
Strictly the money.
It was the money.
And you're not even going to even shortchange that. It's straight to the money.
But also, way long time ago, like around the same time, I also saw myself leaving Mississippi. I also saw myself experiencing different populations and cultures. Regarding the mental health field. Yeah. So again, it was God giving me the opportunity to live and fulfill my dream. Yeah. So the money started it, but ultimately it had always been a dream or a goal of mine to like move somewhere different.
So I really want to go back to this, and I'm going to give you an opportunity because I'm always listening to words that people keep saying is your dreams. What are your dreams, or what were your dreams? Because you use that word a lot. Yeah. So what were your dreams? But when you were, the 15-year-old you, the 12-year-old you, and then the 18-year-old you, what were your dreams? What did you see, Dr. Kaliyah?
Yeah. Junior year in high school, like I mentioned, that's when I decided it was high school. 9th grade, I wanted to be a psychologist. Right. So 9th grade, I wanted to be a psychologist. Junior year is like, okay, well, I'm going to get my degree anyway. Yeah. But it was always just little things, like things that I didn't even think about. Like wanting to move away from home for college. Yeah. It happened. Didn't plan it. Like, I didn't think about it too deeply.
So Mississippi State wasn't an option?
No.
You want to move away and get this experience away from family and friends. Okay.
Yeah. Little things like joining the sorority I always wanted to join.
So, what is your sorority?
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Oh Lord, boy, that explains a lot.
We sorors.
That explains a lot. So that was a dream always.
It was a
And
dream.
you wanted to move away from home, you checked that box. You wanted to join AKA,
Yep.
you checked that box. Okay, keep going.
Wanted to be a doctor. I did not get to become a psychologist, but I got to become a doctor of professional counseling. Check that box.
Got that box.
And I had this little vision. It's like, I want to be the stylish aunt, the rich aunt who is driving a nice car, who is like living lavish in another state. And my niece and my nephew, my niece and my little cousin, they're like, oh, I got a cousin. She's this, like, she's bad. Like, she's fabulous. She's successful. She's rich. And them coming to visit me.
Yeah.
And me being able to like support them and like spoil them at the time being. Yeah. I'm living that. And that's fulfilling. That's fulfilling for me. Yeah. Being able to like sponsor my nieces. Yeah. Give back to the community. Yeah. Help the Black community as well. Like, make my parents proud. Yeah. Allow them to see something different. Like, giving them the experiences and the opportunities to experience life on a different level as well. Yeah. And I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm doing it.
Because now I will give you this. You come from a great family. Mm-hmm. They might not have college degrees, but you come from a family who achieved a hell of a lot of success. Yep. And you have an auntie, Ashley.
My sister.
And then your sister.
Yeah.
Your sister and your other sister, who both of them are successful in their own right. Mm-hmm. And that's, and that's something that has helped complement you and get you to that level of success. But, that's impressive, because most people, what made you not lose focus? Because so many people get distracted by so many different things. And I'm not even going to talk about what they are, but I'm just going to say, how did you maintain your focus and not let anybody or anything distract you from getting your goals?
Like I mentioned, I treat them like a non-negotiable. By any right, like by many means necessary, any means necessary. Yeah. Like, I had to do it. Yeah. Like, I think to a certain extent, I'm a perfectionist.
You think?
Like, I get that gratification from like checking things off the list. Yes. I think I am infatuated with accomplishments. Even if we could get a little bit personal, I think I like that validation, like success or achievement validation. That fulfills me too.
Yeah. And I can see, okay, now a couple of things you said I absolutely agree with. If I were just to do an assessment, you're definitely a perfectionist. Mm-hmm. You're definitely goal driven. And you are definitely a person who checks the boxes. Yeah. If you say that you're going to do this and achieve this, you're going to do this and you're going to achieve this at any cost. This is what's going to happen. So, but I still want to dig down into, how did you do this by age 25 and not get distracted? Because so many people, they leave home, they go off to college and have so many experiences, which I'm not going to detail them, that gets them distracted. Yeah. I have a daughter that's pretty much like you. Went to Southern, and my another daughter went to Ole Miss. Never got distracted. Got their degrees. One works at Google. The other one manages enterprise here. And she just told me last week she had the top enterprise in the state. Just driven and focused. Yeah. And for an African American Black young woman to do that in these days and time, how did you keep your focus? Because there were so many distractions that you had. Because you're an attractive young lady, you're a driven young lady, you light up the room. Whenever you walk in a room, everybody is looking at you, both men and women. Yeah. So how did you kind of keep that noise out of your ear and out of your focus?
I don't know. I guess it was, I want to do it. I need to do, like, I have to do it.
You think you're intimidating people?
I think my demeanor is so nurturing and soft. I don't see how I can be. I'm sure I am. I'm sure I'm intimidating. I don't see how I can be.
Yeah, because you're very nurturing. Yeah. Because your mother is. She's just that kind of way. And Larry, your father, is just like that. So, but you're very intimidating. And sometimes it's not about what people know, the core of you. It's just the physical presence. Yeah. You're very articulate. You're very well dressed. You're very well mannered. You're prim. You're proper. You're very feminine,
Yeah.
and you, all that, those qualities sometimes are intimidating to people, and it probably keeps a lot of people away
Yeah.
because when they know you're not about the nonsense and you keep yourself well
Mhm.
together, people are just not going to approach you.
Yeah.
It's going to keep some people away. So let's talk a little bit about, when you got to Virginia. What part of Virginia?
I'm in Fairfax.
Oh, she's up there with the bougie people.
So
She's up
right
there
in
with the really bougie people.
almost the heart of the DMV.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm very close to DC as well.
So let's talk about when you moved up there. You got a different cultural experience
Mhm.
coming from West Point, coming from Salem, and even coming from Harrisburg,
Yeah.
which is a college town. You go to a whole different cultural
Mhm.
shock, and they probably fascinated with your accent. Can't believe you from
Can't
Mississippi.
believe it.
Ain't no way this articulate young woman is from Mississippi, and you're so cultured, so educated. You're able to acclimate, assimilate to
Mhm.
that culture. Tell me something about moving to Virginia.
It is enlightening. I love it. I
You
love
look,
it. Yes.
yeah,
I think that, or I'm fascinated by the diversity,
yeah.
right? There's so many ways to like become exposed to like different cultures and different opportunities. But aside from Fairfax, because there's not many of us
Right.
in Fairfax,
That's right.
so I kind of stay in the DC area quite a bit.
Yeah.
But one of the things I am most amazed by is the culture of like Black excellence there.
Yes.
Like there's always an opportunity for networking,
Yes.
community building,
Yeah.
personal growth, leisure, all about like-minded individuals. So I really value that.
And it's a different culture because I've got friends from there and that moved there, and from it, it's more of a nourishing culture,
Mm-hmm.
nourishing where you want to build and see you
Exactly.
successful and not intimidated by your success.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you as a threat. So hey,
Yeah.
come on in.
Yeah.
And if you can glean something from me, or if I can leach something to you,
Mm-hmm.
hey, listen, I know somebody
Yeah.
that's looking for somebody that kind of culture. So tell me something about, has it changed the way you think about people, how you think about life, to get from that Fairfax, Virginia culture to Mississippi culture? Has it changed your view of life and how you see?
Yeah, it does. Because of the culture, the Black excellence
Yeah,
there, it is great for people who are career driven.
yeah,
So I love that. I love that. I love Mississippi too.
yeah,
And I often miss Mississippi because of its simplicity, the
yeah.
hospitality,
People speaking to you,
exactly, and
saying
holding the
hello.
doors, and
Yeah,
all of the waving while you're driving,
yeah,
just little things like that. And there is a lot of the relationships in the DMV area is transactional,
yeah.
which most like any, but it's always, what do you do? Like, how can I use you to grow professionally?
Well,
You get
in
that a
Mississippi
lot.
relationships are not transactional. I mean, come on now,
Exactly.
come on now.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
difference.
yeah,
Whereas you don't necessarily have to be accomplished
yeah,
in Mississippi. Like,
yeah,
you still receive the same support.
yeah.
You receive the same love, same nurturing hospitality. Whereas in the DMV, it is a bit different in the area. And the food up
Food,
there,
yes.
horrible.
You're a foodie.
I'm not a foodie.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
a
not a
foodie.
foodie.
I'm not.
I do. I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
I love food. Let me ask you this: What do you think is one of the? Because I want to get to a little bit about your career, what you do,
Mm-hmm.
and this mental health field. What do you think is one of the biggest mental health challenges that the Black community face? And I'm gonna break it down to Black men, Black women, Black children. But overall, let's look at what do you think the biggest challenge is?
I think it is our the preconceived notion that we don't have to seek out treatment. We
Gotcha.
can do it on our own.
Yeah.
Granted, we can. I think we're one of the most resilient group of people. But when you take into consideration the intergenerational trauma, as well as the epigenetics, and a lot of things that our ancestors experienced, right? Very similar things that we're experiencing today. We're more prone to PTSD, anxiety, yeah, substance abuse disorders, or chronic health issues, but yet we're still not willing to address those things.
Yeah.
So we kind of make it our destiny, yeah, and we often talk about breaking generational
Of
traumas or
cursing.
breaking
Yeah.
the barriers and curses.
Yeah.
But one of the things we neglect is how we're responding to the community because of our stress, or how we're not pouring to ourselves in the community in a way that can build like more resiliency,
Yeah.
increase happiness,
Yeah.
improving, financial support and gains and things of that sort. So that's one of the things. Like we write it off. Oh, we've always had to do that. We've always got through it this way. Oh, I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need to do this. I don't need to take medications.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with me, and I'm not crazy.
You say what?
That's what we like
Mm-hmm.
to say. But do you think we now have to address, the environmental stresses, and some of it is chemical.
Yeah,
It's chemical
definitely.
imbalance.
Uh-huh.
Some of it is environmental stresses, like you say.
Right.
Is the generational trauma
Mm-hmm.
and all the things that we deal with, and we don't deal with our trauma well.
No, we don't.
And one of the things that I hate, and I've been preaching for 40 years, is to spiritualize everything.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot say Jesus can fix it. He can.
Yeah.
But you also need to address some of these issues, because if you don't deal with the causes behind some of these issues, yeah, Jesus can fix any problem.
Yeah.
But, one of my favorite narratives is Jesus having to deal with Martha and the conversation in their home when she said, "Get Mary to help me." And Jesus said to her, "You have more issues than what's going on now."
Yeah.
These are some other things that have
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with what's going on now. There's some issues outside of this environment.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with that, because this really ain't the
Mm-hmm.
issue. It's some other stuff going on. And so I think if we could ever erase the stigma that, hey, you do need to get help. There's nothing wrong with seeking mental health
Yeah.
counseling to try to deal with some of the trauma, the causes,
Mm-hmm.
because that's one of the things, and that's a pretty good assessment. So, what do you think the biggest health challenge is with Black men?
Well, I want to go back to what we mentioned earlier because
Okay.
it sounds like I put it a lot on the African Americans as a whole. And oftentimes it's not their fault. It's not their fault. I think that when it comes to the mental health profession, we're underrepresented. There's not a lot of Black psychologists or Black therapists. And so they don't receive like culturally competent care. So they're not.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I'm 100%. I had
Mhm.
Dr. Nikita Shelton on here, and she's a mental health counselor and practitioner. So I agree.
Yeah.
And they really don't understand where we're coming from when we sit down and talk about our trauma. Because I
Mhm.
tell people, when I wake up in the morning, I'm a Black man.
Yep.
Wherever I go, I'm a Black man. And whatever engagements, whether it's professional or in my occupation, I'm still a Black man. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of trauma. I
Yeah.
go into a grocery store as a Black man.
Exactly.
Into the cleaners as a Black man, in these professional places as Black men. And I'm treated like that. No matter what people say,
Mhm.
they still see a Black man.
Yep.
And there is a level of trauma that, if you want to say PSD or post traumatic stress, that kind of triggers me.
Yeah.
And so you think that more Black people need to get into this profession to kind of be able to deal with the trauma that we have as a community?
Oh yeah, definitely. I do think having, more people whom the mental health population, Black mental health population can relate to, it helps. You fill
Yeah.
in the gap.
Yeah.
And you're not just providing the mental health services, but you're also building that trust. You're healing generational traumas. You're exposing them. You're actually being the type of professional that we should have had like decades. Or
Yeah.
I know for me,
Yeah.
Yeah. I aim to be the provider that we should have had decades ago.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I'm also motivated too as
Yeah.
a mental health professional.
Yeah.
Because I definitely do think that having someone whom you can relate to, having a shared experience without even having to mention it, it reduces misdiagnosis. You receive level of care, and it can also reduces the rate of incarceration or psychiatric hospitalization, as well as substance abuse disorder. Because oftentimes the mental health is overlooked, and then it just jumps up to like one of the most severe like levels of thing, which is incarceration, hospitalization, because we're not seeking it in outpatient settings, meaning that we're not actively going to somebody that's Black because we don't have them.
And I agree with you on the misdiagnosis.
Yeah.
A Black man goes, because I work as a mentor with the court,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people get into this criminal justice arena because they've been misdiagnosed. Yeah. They don't, the court sees them when they commit the crime,
Mm-hmm.
but don't realize that this homelessness or this criminality that they practice,
Yeah.
somebody should have caught that
Yeah.
in high school, and nobody really,
Mhm.
okay, throw everybody as this ADHD. Some other issues that's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the little black kids, the black boys at school, nobody is even, these high school
Mhm.
counselors are not even looking at what's going on
No.
up here to realize what's going on in here
Yeah.
that's producing these kind of results.
Mhm.
And I agree there with the misdiagnosis. And you
Yeah.
think more black practitioners will be able to really know that
Definitely.
shared cultural
Yeah.
experience to say, hey, something else is going on here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel once you build that connection, that trust,
Yeah.
oftentimes studies has shown that you're more receptive to treatment, and it's more effective when you do have a connection with your therapist.
Yeah.
You trust them more because of the similarities, shared experiences, and I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, but you're absolutely on it. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
explain to you this. I think one of the things that we got to recognize in the black community is this: that the black church has to realize some of these issues that our members have. We need to send them to a therapist. They are beyond our
Mhm.
pay grade.
Yeah.
They are beyond
Mhm.
our experience. For me to sit here and try, I got a particular member at the church where you go. I would never counsel her.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna call her name because she's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
There's nothing I could say to her that's going to help her emotionally and mentally
Mhm.
to engage with her mental
Yeah.
illness that's going to be that's going to have a good result.
Mhm.
Praying with her, talking to her, I
Yeah.
got to realize this is above my pay grade, and I think we got to build a relationship between the faith community and
Mhm.
these
Yep. I agree.
practitioners to say, look, pray, we're going to talk, but you need to go see a
Mhm.
therapist.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the things. I had to make you make
No.
you lose your train of thought. So,
Yeah.
what do you think the biggest mental health crisis and issue is among black men?
Um,
I'm gonna get you in trouble.
I think it is, and it's not a bad thing. I don't feel shame because I think I love black men,
Yeah,
right? And if anything, I care for them more. Like I want to nurture their brain, their mental health even more because black men always have to be strong. Like
yeah,
they cannot show weakness. They don't pride themselves on showing weaknesses or anything. And we put a lot of pressure on black men. We do. As the black community, as women,
yeah. This is a black woman,
we
young,
do.
with a
We
really
do.
good perspective. Yeah,
Yeah, we put a lot of pressure on them. They're
yeah,
supposed to be the provider, supposed to
yeah,
be the protector, head
yeah,
of the household.
yeah,
They're supposed to be our shield.
yeah.
And once they show weaknesses, well, to them, a lot of them think that once they cry or they're not mentally
Are
prepared,
vulnerable.
strong, are vulnerable, it's
Yeah,
the weaknesses and it makes them less of a man.
yeah,
So I think that's what it is.
yeah,
We can hold them accountable a little bit more too in other areas, but we're not gonna go there.
yeah.
But I do think
We're
that
gonna go there before the show is over.
okay.
But okay, let's talk about black women. What do you think their biggest?
Same. Having to be that strong woman. I don't. I would say feeling the need that they have to be everything to everybody. They also cannot. They also cannot be a strong black woman without being tired, um, or without failing as a mother, or not necessarily failing, but showing like incapabilities. So things of that sort. Like we want to be everything to everybody. We also take on a lot emotionally too, and there's also a lot of pressure put on us to be nurturing, to
Yeah.
be feminine, to be kind, to smile.
But all those things are natural, though. I think
Yeah.
those things are natural of what a woman is. The essence of a
Mhm.
woman is to be nurturing, is to be nice and smiling and to be kind,
Yeah.
because that's something you instinctively do and are. Do you think that black women are? I think one of the issues that I see a lot of podcasters talking about as far as mental health, Dr. Iana Van Sant, who had the show on talks about black women are just not accountable.
Mm.
Do you think that's an issue that contributes to some of the mental health issues? Not in because you are the exception to the rule.
No.
That there's nobody to hold them accountable to check them. I'm just asking.
I disagree.
She disagrees.
I
Okay.
disagree.
Okay.
Um,
So what do you
women.
think the issue is, though? The pressure from the black men, and I think black women, because black women are getting more advanced degrees. They are
Mhm.
more successful, starting more businesses, graduating college more. contributing more to the economy than most. Don't you think all of that is a lot of pressure that
No,
you don't think to most women?
I don't think so because we're doing it ourselves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I think it goes way back. Um, we're not expected to do those things,
yeah,
so we are becoming more independent and
yeah,
we're becoming more grounded, like within our feminism, to like do things. So I don't think it's that we're being pressured to do it. Although I do think that we have internalized, what the male feels and all that, what they're saying and the pressure they are. They're not even pressuring because they will be okay if we were to remain stagnant and we
yeah,
were to stay at home cooking, make less money, but we're wanting it for ourselves.
yeah. But
Um,
I don't think that as much pressure is coming from the white community as it is black men. I think black men are rebelling against black women going out here being so driven and achieving
yeah,
success and making reaching these benchmarks, breaking the glass ceiling. I think it's most of the hostility is coming from black men, which I don't think is justified
and white
because
women.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
oh they hate you, they hate
Yeah.
you all. Absolutely, they cannot stand the fact
Mm-hmm.
that okay, these were roles traditionally reserved for us. We fill these roles.
Not even for them.
Yeah,
I
for
think
for the children.
white males, and then I feel like the
I don't
black
think white men are really that
they're
on the
always
sideline booing for y'all. They cheering for y'all
yeah,
because
nah,
it's another burden they can put on black men to say. I don't think white men. I think they are absolutely
they don't
for.
care.
They
Yeah,
don't
I don't
care.
think they care.
They don't care. They cheering for y'all
Mhm.
if it's going to adversely affect the black
Yeah.
male to make us feel insecure, to make us be even harder
Mhm.
and give us even more trauma. They're cheering for y'all
Exactly.
because they're saying, okay, y'all ain't stepping up, so let the black sister
Mhm.
step up. So, what do you think one of the biggest issues is facing children? Mental health issues facing children or kids or young adults today.
Uh, exposure. Of course, we can't really dictate, or we can't necessarily.
To digital media or just exposure to more information, more access to things that they shouldn't have access to at such an early age? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I say exposure, like in general.
Yeah.
Um, Also lack of exposure as well when it comes from like their guardian. So being more
Mm.
involved or um, basic nurturing.
Yeah. Because
I've
you grew up in a two-parent home.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what I would say. Also teaching them that it is okay. Like it's okay to feel as well. So starting young, nurturing their mental health as well, getting them counseling rather than throwing it off as, oh well, he'll be okay. He's just bad, or
Yeah.
he just need a butt whipping, or
Yeah.
if I can do this, we'll do that, or whatever. But actually feeding, pouring into them. So
Yeah.
I think it ultimately falls back on the parents
Yeah.
or the village.
The village, because I think the modern education is not really structured to really focus on the mental health of the students that comes through those doors every
Yeah.
day. I think if you it used to be that the teacher had a little bit more control to engage with the student,
Hmm.
but the psychiatric community have put these diagnoses in without a real personal sit down
Yeah.
assessment. If they display any of these
Hmm.
characteristics trace the ADHD. They need to be on
Right.
medicine instead of letting that kid get down with a real professional and say, "This is what the problem is."
Hmm.
Because I'm one of those kids who should have been diagnosed with dyslexia, but
Hmm.
didn't nobody tell me that. But that was what my problem was. It's not that I was slow. I'm highly
Yeah.
intelligent. Not that I couldn't do it. And so you assessed me at this early age without really fundamentally
Hmm.
finding out what the problem was, and that I'm not developmentally slow. I'm as
Yeah.
smart as any kid in my class.
Yeah.
And I went to my 30th class reunion, and everybody was talking about all this stuff. I said, but the point of it is, whatever you got, I got.
Hmm.
I just, go into these spaces and realize in the modern educational system is not equipped today.
Yeah.
When I was in school, it's 40 years ago. They're not even today. And a lot of these things, this criminality, like you said, the criminal justice system, these kids are being misdiagnosed. You throw them into these special education classes or put them at these programs that really doesn't meet and address what their
Hmm.
emotional issues are. So let's talk about. I got three rapid questions I try to ask people
Okay.
about, and I ain't gonna get to them yet because I still want to talk about you a little bit. Because let's talk about, you're successful now. You
Mhm.
are reaching these goals. You're in Virginia, and okay, what is the path forward? Is it a husband? Is it a family? Are you going to still be career driven? You're going to go into private practice. You're going to start a nonprofit. You're going to be a community liaison. Tell me a little bit about how do you build your life up around all of that to take care of Dr. Hughes.
Yeah. Um, Still very much career driven. It's a blessing and a curse, honestly.
Yeah. To
Especially
be
when
so career driven.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Um, Especially when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
Not necessarily friendships.
Yeah.
I like to surround myself with like minded
Yeah.
individuals, of course. So
You consider yourself a loner? And
I
your
do
circle
not.
of people are very small when it comes.
I do like small circle of people. I
Yeah.
do small circle.
But you're not a
group.
loner.
Mm-mm.
But your core people are very tight group of people.
Yes.
You have very selective group of people
Mm-hmm.
in there, and I think that's one of the keys to really successful people. They have a really tight
Yeah.
core of people because you vet the people that are in that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as moving forward about so where is the ceiling where you said, because people like you, the curse is there's no ceiling. You don't know when to say, okay, I've
Right.
arrived, I've made it, I'm there, I'm it.
Yeah.
Okay, where is the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you put an exit sign to say, hey, I'm there?
I don't know. I don't. I know what I want ultimately. I know my ultimate goal, but I also don't see it being a limit. I feel like once I reach this, oh, I've gotten this far, I can go further.
Yeah.
I can do a little bit more. I can help just a few more people.
Yeah.
I can I can open up something in another location.
Yeah.
Like there's always room for growth.
Yeah.
Don't have that ceiling, at least not yet.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe things will change once I, start my family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have a ceiling. I don't know the end goal.
I'm going to give inspiration to black young men and black young women. What advice would you say to a person who was in high school and they thought about dual enrollment?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to a young person who didn't know? Because I think you pretty much need to decide what you're going to do before you graduate, to have some kind of trajectory or direction. And I'm not saying putting pressure on yourself, but college is so expensive now.
Yeah.
You just can't afford to go to college just to say you went to college.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be an exit out of, when I get out of college, am I going to be able to pay this student debt? Is this degree going to be real because of AI, the way things are going? Because I was reading an article about, paralegals, they're going to almost be obsolete when AI can generate all this stuff. What would you tell a person or a young person?
Discover your passion for one. Like find something that really, really brings you like joy.
Yeah.
Not even just in high school, but as an adult.
Yeah.
I feel like we grow so much in life and we experience different things and more things, and our thoughts change, our plans, mind change. And you just really never know. But just find something that gives you happiness or brings you happiness. Don't limit yourself ever. Like create a path. Be intentional.
I like being intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Passion and being intentional.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
That's it.
Yeah, being passionate and being intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that passion thing is it's just stir up the gift that is within you. You're never gonna go further than anything that you're not
right.
are passionate about. Passion drives everything.
Exactly.
And then be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, boy, I would, boy, whew, I hate to be in your sphere and you fail at one of your goals that you see.
I don't fail.
Oh my God.
I don't fail.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Because that's how driven you are.
Mm-hmm.
That if you said it, you're going to reach it. Huh?
Faithful.
Yeah. You're not going to, so you don't, so because I was going to ask that question, but I think you've answered it. Very rarely are you disappointed with whatever you set out to do. Very rarely do you have any disappointments because you're so driven and focused. Mm-hmm. And some things are just non-negotiable. I'm gonna get this.
Yeah.
And obstacles don't distract you at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I'm rarely disappointed. I'm human, right?
Yeah.
We all experience a disappointment and anger, or not gonna lie, experience imposter syndromes at times, or the imposter syndrome at times. But when it comes to failure, barriers, obstacles, it's just a protection for me. Like I mentioned, I know I'm destined for greatness.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it this time. All right, well, God is telling me to wait. He's gonna do something that's better. Or uh okay, I don't start yet because it's not going to be as good right now.
Yeah.
But just wait a few more weeks.
So you don't
Wait a
see
few
it
more
as a
months.
disappointment or a setback. This is God saying to you, hey, this is not the time, this is not the
Yep.
moment, this is not the season, or this is not the job, this is not the person.
Yeah.
And so you just get refocused and focus. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good passion, and just be driven. So I really ask three questions to everybody that comes onto this show. I talk about the person, and then I kind of talk a little bit about what they do. So, what do you think about the digital media? What do
A
you think
blessing
about
and a
digital
curse.
media? Huh?
A blessing and a curse.
Okay, expound and explain. Do you think it's a positive thing? Because I think it's affecting more adults than it is children. We talk about
Okay.
in these statistics that it has a profound effect on children, but I think it's changing adults too
Yeah.
in a profound way. The way we see each other,
Mhm.
this idea that we have to compete,
Mhm.
this competitiveness, we have to have this image about ourselves. So tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the media or society. I feel like society dictates what is portrayed in the media. Um,
But I think the media is overshadowing society because when you talk about society, society is what I knew about the people that I knew
mhm.
down the street, up the street. I worked with, went to church with, went to school with. But this thing is global now.
Yeah.
It's a whole different movement now.
Why do you think that something after you see it in the media becomes more prominent, or what do you think the media is inspired by?
The media is inspired by, it's really inspired by this Hollywood entertainment culture
Okay.
from my perspective, because you used to be inspired by the person up the street that you knew, that what they did you said you could do because it was something real and tangible.
Mm-hmm.
But now we compare ourselves to people that we don't even know, and we don't even know if the if the portrait of their life is the reality of their
Yeah.
life. You know what I mean? So everybody can be something that that you really don't know if they're that or not.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to me being like Wade Ivy, the first person to get a loan at the bank, go and be a coach, build a big house,
Yeah.
raise a family. This was something tangible. Now you see people, you don't really know if that's their reality or if that's their
Mm-hmm.
fiction, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it used to be that we had real world realities
Got it.
and inspired by,
Yeah.
this is what I know that I can do, because I'm inspired by Wade Ivy. I'm inspired by Charlie Woodruff. I'm inspired by these people that I saw, but like the Lipsys that's been married 42 years.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is real. But then everybody looks happy on Facebook,
Yeah.
digital media. Everybody looks successful. I don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
You,
So
you,
we compare. Like we do a lot of comparison.
yeah,
And I feel like because of what we see on the social media,
yeah,
we we allow it to dictate like our level of happiness,
yeah,
our success,
yeah,
what we want to do
yeah,
in life. Um, so yeah, I think that we are, but it can also be motivating
yeah,
too, right?
yeah,
Because you can see this fake scenario of this person living life, living lavish, and you can compare. Like you feel like you need to compare yourself, and it can increase your drive. Um, become more successful, or reach a higher level of financial success or gain.
yeah,
So I definitely think it's a pro and a con.
yeah. But see, my thing is, when you talk about inspiring your nieces and nephews, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
This is tangible. This is something I see.
Yeah.
You started from the bottom, now I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I can really relate to. Once you become the millionaire, the procure of 5 or 6
Yeah.
businesses is tangible. It's not, and you don't post a lot on Facebook.
Mm-mm.
You are completely going against the culture of
Yeah.
somebody who is as successful as you. I don't even think you have Dr. Hughes on your, and nobody really knows that
Yeah.
because you don't need to stunt. It's real,
Exactly.
tangible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Living in Virginia, I don't know if anybody even knows you live in Virginia. That you have this corporate job in corporate America,
Yeah.
but it's real world stuff that people can really relate to.
Yeah.
And I think it's a positive and a negative. And
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's changed everything. And so many people, because of AI, people can change and put these images up of how
Yeah.
they would want to look instead of how they do look.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It gives us a false sense. So,
Yeah.
okay, now let's talk about this one. It's going to get a little sticky, the state of black love.
Okay.
I say that because that's who we are. That's what we are. And that's the area in which we live.
Mm-hmm.
What is the state of black love?
Okay. What is the state of black love?
Yes. Let me give it context everybody's want to know. Black people getting together, building families, dating black men, black women,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff.
Yeah. What is your question exactly?
What's the state of black love? Is are we at a moment of crisis? One of my guests said we're in the emergency room. And
Yeah.
yeah, that we just can't get together.
Mm-mm.
You know, it doesn't seem like the two people who need love, because you know we were better when we were together. That's how you. The quickest way to build wealth in the black community, according to John Hope Bryant, is the black
Mm-hmm.
marriage, family. That's how you build black wealth in the black community, and
Yeah.
we don't have that. So, what do you think the issues are that's keeping black people, black men and women, from getting together and finding love and happiness?
I actually okay. I don't know from an entire standpoint.
Clinical. You're from a clinical perspective, from a mental health perspective. I'm not asking you to diagnose the whole
Yeah.
thing. What do you think the mental health challenges is? What do you think is in the mind?
I think if we're gonna talk about it clinically, I think that when we get with other people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of our unresolved issues, who we really are, childhood traumas, all of that shows up in relationships, how we
Good.
are with other people.
Good.
Oftentimes, people are either stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
Other person isn't emotionally equipped to receive it.
Yes.
Some are not equipped to actually share and express their emotions in a healthier manner. In regards to black love, I don't know. I don't have a response, but I do know that oftentimes our attachment styles, childhood traumas, um, how we receive love, how we were nurtured, how people responded to our emotions, it shows up a lot in relationships. And I would say in the and I don't want to go from a black standpoint because I haven't done a lot of research, so
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
But I can say that oftentimes we don't give each other what we need.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
because go ahead.
Yeah. And I absolutely, because and really that is it is a response I would expect
Mm-hmm.
from somebody that's focused, because you've really been able to shield yourself
Yeah.
and guard yourself from some of the, I ain't gonna say the trauma of dating and college and high school,
Mm-hmm.
and having to go in and out of relationships and having to deal with all this drama because you've been so focused.
Yeah.
And so it really, you put yourself in a better position to find love when you find love, or when love finds you, as
Okay.
opposed to, carrying all of this drama.
Yeah.
And I think we expose ourselves to too much drama too early. And it kind of gives us what is called, clinically an unconscious bias.
Mm-hmm.
And we can already have this preconceived notions, and we got our defense mechanisms up, and we prejudge a person's circumstance. And we can never see beyond our prejudices to say, okay, this person might really be trying to give me what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this last question, I think we kind of hit an hour. We hadn't quite yet the state of the black church.
Okay.
What is your opinion on the state of the black church? Now, you got something to say, because I can tell by that look. The state of the black church. That's the question, and I'm so fascinated with everybody's take.
Yeah.
You are 26 years old, highly educated, been able to be exposed to academia, and you've heard different thoughts. Now you're in Virginia, from Mississippi to this deep cultural Bible
Yeah.
Belt, spiritualisms that are just different from this
Mhm.
culture. So, what's the state of the black church?
Um, I'm very much
Because I'm your pastor, and you don't have
right.
to
Yeah, yeah,
hold
yeah,
back.
yeah. I'm not. I've come to the conclusion that the black church is highly judgmental.
Yeah,
I am. I'm Christian.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
believe in Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Um, I've also just been up in the DMV,
yeah,
different cultures exposed to so much. I've come across a lot of people who are atheist, agnostic, are just spiritual and not religious. And I've heard a lot of people say who's like mostly spiritual or not in the church.
yeah,
Is that they throw the Bible at you, right? And it's almost like not receiving culturally competent care in therapy. They throw the Bible at you, right? But they don't look at what you've experienced. They don't look at your background. It's mostly, okay, well, I'm not going to wait for you to get to the point. Like, of course, Jesus says, come as you are, right? But when you go to the black church, it's mostly, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. It's not, okay, I'm going to help you get to this point. I'm not going to help you grow. I'm not willing to watch you grow. I'm going to deem you demonic or whatever because of what you're doing and not necessarily seeing what you've experienced. So yeah, that's what I've gathered. I attend a church. It's non-denominational.
Yeah.
So it's not as traditional as the Southern Baptist churches. Very young, like tailored for the young, generational. And I like it. I feel like because it's so young, it doesn't. It's not. It's not as judgmental. I don't think I was ever like judged. I had a great experience in
But
church.
believe it or not, statistically, the black church is the least judgmental religious sect in America. Period.
Okay.
I mean, across every denomination, every group of religious, racial groups, the black church is the least judgmental of any religious denomination in America, of any religion.
Yeah.
Less judgmental than the white church, the Asian church, even religiously than Jewish church, Islamic or Buddhist or Hinduism, any. The black church is at least judgmental, and it embraces people exactly where they are. When you look at it from a cultural and you look at the statistics, and as Dr. Tony Evans says, on some of these cultural issues, the black church is the last line of defense.
Okay.
But it is the least judgmental, the most accepting, because when you look at the black church, one of the things it does really well, it embraces people. It's very compassionate. It is a come as you are. You go to some of these other cultures, other religions, they're very judgmental.
Yeah.
They ask you, and I really, because I've been studying this, the criticism of the black church that we are the least tolerant of people of different moralities or different cultural stigmas. The black church embraces them.
Yeah.
But other churches don't. Because like this simple thing that I try to tell people. So I'm not talking about some of these more liberal denominations in America, like the United Methodist Church that fully embraces the gay lifestyle. But in the white Southern Baptist Church, you can't even be divorced and serve in leadership. That's judgmental. As opposed to the black church says, okay, we accept your failures, we give you a second chance.
Yeah.
We embrace you, which is more of a biblical model, whether you believe it or not. The black church is the least judgmental historically.
Yeah.
And statistically, and but I focus on what you're saying about the church being more acceptable. But the other statistic is this: young people want to be told what's right, whether they do it or not. They don't want to go to a place where there's a life, there's not any restrictions or any fences. And I'm talking about mainstream Washington D.C. in that very highly educated culture.
Yeah.
They really, they don't. They're not saying they're gonna do any of it, but they do want to know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Don't you think you kind of see that?
Mm.
They don't want, no, they don't want you to highlight that what they're doing, but they do want to know what they're doing that's not right.
Yeah.
That's what the statistics say.
Okay.
And when you look at those places in New York, and if you look at the election of Donald Trump, where there was a cultural shift where people says, okay, I want to be confronted with the truth. I might not live it, I might not accept it, but I at least want to know what the truth is.
Yeah.
And I think we're shifting toward where people, they want to go to church and they don't want as many traditional restrictions.
Right.
Don't be telling me how to dress.
Yeah.
Don't it tell me not to bring my cultural experience, my racial identity to the church. Don't be so hard on these choices I made. I know I made them. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, I think you're tapping into where I think the young people are. Hey, you're right. I'm struggling, but I'm still coming to. At least I'm coming to church. I know I got all these issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm shacking. I'm living with somebody, but at least I'm here. Preach me out of it. Teach me out of it, but don't judge me because of it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I think that's where the church is shifting.
Yeah.
Because there is this cultural pressure, and then there's the church that's saying the Bible. But you know, the Bible is the rule of faith. We got to teach that if we teach nothing else. Anything else that we do in the church,
right,
that has to be the basis of our argument, because that's the basis of our existence, the origin of our existence, the book that rules us. And I think we can have all these diverse cultural experiences, but the core of what we got to teach is scripture.
Yeah.
Just like the Constitution is what a lawyer uses to do the law. There's some core tenets in your profession. Yeah. There's some basic things you have to teach. Then you have to adjust everything to the cultural norms of people.
Right.
And bring your experiences, which is your learn to live experiences, and say, okay, now I hear you. Because I've taken my professional opinion, what I've been trained, but now let me live some of my lived experience. Let me put myself in your shoes and in your seat. That's pretty good. I think.
All right, well, let me ask you this too, because you're noticing the shift with the younger generation, and the changes. So they're wanting to know what's right or wrong, and they're wanting you. I guess like they're coming. They're wanting to know.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it, but I'm growing. I want you to help me grow. How do you think churches nowadays, pastors, Southern Baptists, or just any Black churches, how are they responding to that?
They're not responding well.
Okay.
Because what they want is this, they want this immediate response to it, but they don't understand the cultural and environmental pressures that, like you said, there is a lot of things that happen before this person started doing what they were doing. Maybe they grew up. This is all they know. You are a product of your environment, whether you know it or not. That's just the way you grew up. This is a system that you are familiar with, you engaged with. Nobody told you it was wrong. You didn't really, you knew that it was wrong from a biblical perspective, but culturally you didn't. Nobody never said anything about it. Nobody ever confronted you and said you don't need to be doing this or doing that. And I don't think the church really considers that. People will have a religious experience and they'll have one and they'll really love Jesus, but they're still struggling. Yeah. Because they grew up in this culture. This is what they know. And so to expect them to have, I give the illustration, it's not like turning around a fishing boat. It's like turning around an ocean cruise. Yeah. That takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of work. And I know in my pastorage, I've moved people from cohabitation to marriage. Yeah. And that took a long time. But I couldn't judge them when they first came to the church and just beat them down, beat them down, beat them down, beat them down. No, let me teach you the benefits. Then I go with scripture, but then I listen to John Hope Bryan and says the best way to build wealth and if you decide that you're not going to make it in marriage, to distribute these assets is only in marriage. You get nothing for living with a man 7 years. You decide to break up, you have nothing. Yeah. but you also teach them the legal as well as the religious and show them
Mm-hmm.
both benefits. And I don't think we know how to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think in one of my aggravations is spiritualizing everything.
Okay.
You can't spiritualize trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You can't spiritualize a person being molested. You can't spiritualize a person being abused, or a young man being neglected, or a young man never knowing his father. There's
Yeah.
some deep issues there. And that behavior that you see displayed, that thug behavior, there's a reason why
Yeah.
that happened. And to judge him when he comes to church and he's not been really developed and matured in
Mm-hmm.
his faith,
Yeah.
and to pass a judgment of people, I think one of the biggest issues we have now is people who have this gender identity crisis. Some of that stuff is traumatizing to
Yeah.
people. It's a lot of stuff that's going on that led that
Definitely.
person to this place. And for the church not to be sensitive to that and just come in, and you got to teach people out of that. It's almost not like getting them out of a ditch, because a ditch you can just
Yeah.
no, you got to
Mm-hmm.
go way down, and you got to pull them up, and it's going to take them some time
Yeah.
for them to see the light. And I don't think the church is patient enough.
Mm-hmm.
And in my experience, it judges too much, but it judges people. You know, you're only wrong based on who you are, not what you do.
Exactly.
It's who you
Definitely.
are
Mm-hmm.
what determines whether people are going to judge you hard based on what you're doing. Forget it. If
Yeah.
it's who you like or who you is more popular, don't care what you do.
Yeah.
But if it's who you are, they coming down on the hammer with you. So I think
Mm-hmm.
you're right. I think the church is I think the church is like where you're going to, they are light on scriptural interpretation, biblical worldview,
Mm-hmm.
and they're more on embracing people and trying to meet them where they are.
Yeah.
Being more open, because church is different. I don't agree with the contemporary style of approach of the Joel Osteens, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
God will work it out. In our foolishness, God's still gonna get
Mm-hmm.
his purpose and plan. Some are gonna be saved, some are gonna be lost.
Yeah.
Even in the black traditional Baptist church.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too hard on, because in the end, let the wheat and terry grow together, and in the end, I'll separate. Some folk in your church in Virginia say, people in South Alabama say.
Yeah.
That's up to God.
Mm-hmm.
We try to sit in a seat of judgment, and the scriptures tell us, judge not,
Exactly.
lest you be judged. By the same measure in which you judge other people, God will judge you.
Mm-hmm.
Let God work some of this stuff out. You just preach. Quit trying to make people holy.
Yeah.
Let that be left up to God. So,
I
okay,
agree.
let's talk about, I got a little on my soapbox, forgive me, taking up your time, but you asked the question. So let's talk about, your life and how people can contact you if you want to be contacted, what your goals are, and a little bit closing and summing up your life. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Um, I'm not too much of assistance in Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
other than the sparing awareness,
Yeah.
resources.
You ever think about coming back here starting a business?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I do. I do see myself right where I'm at now in Virginia, the DMV area. I do see my nonprofit thriving, and I do hope one day to bring it to Mississippi. But even before then, I do want to establish projects and get them started here in Mississippi or anywhere.
Yeah.
So I do see that happening soon. I don't have any way for anybody to contact me.
Unless you're in Virginia.
Unless you're in Virginia.
There's no way you're going to be able to contact and get her
Yeah.
services until she get her clinical practice. Now, what do you think about this? And I'm going to really kind of close, because I think this is a big issue now. Two things I want to ask you about as I close. What do you think about online counselor? The clinicians talking to people online. There's not no in-person interaction. What do you think about that?
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
However, that's currently where I'm at right now in my practice.
Yeah.
I do hope one day to just trying to get everything started and running to get an individual office or an actual physical setting where I can see individuals. But I am taking people from Southern Virginia and North Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
North area of Virginia. So right now the best thing is for me to do online, but I definitely think in person is better. Due to nonverbals, being able to actually experience the warmth of that individual mentally and
human
physically.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of nonverbals. and just strengthening that connection for sure.
So,
The
what do you think
person.
about AI taking over the profession of counseling? Because a lot of these issues of these young people going and AI is acting as a clinical clinician, giving counseling and advice, and
Yeah.
these young people going into that. What do you think about that?
I dislike it. I don't think that anyone should use AI as
Yeah,
their therapist.
yeah,
However, I do see AI being of use to help you when you are experiencing a crisis. The escalation, allow AI to help you utilize your coping skills.
yeah,
Do some deep breathing with you.
yeah.
Um, Connect you to actual resources because AI is
But
great for
not
that.
give you any clinical advice
No clinical advice.
or even on a clinical assessment
Yeah,
of this
no,
is what's wrong
none
with
of
you.
that.
You speak into AI and then it clinically assess you and tell you, because that's where I have a problem with some of these advertisements about these medicines. A lot of people, they listen to these
Mm-hmm.
symptoms and all of a sudden they think that's wrong. What's wrong with them? They run to the doctors. And I
Yeah.
think back when we didn't have those commercials, and there was a time, I know not in your lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have these commercials on
Yeah.
television about these medicines. If you got these symptoms, this is probably what's wrong with you. And I think that's one of the drawbacks from AI. You can go and get these assessments, ask AI, tell you, get your diagnosis, your symptoms in, and it tells you, because it's causing a lot of people to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
I don't see it being a difference. Way before you even therapists, we sometimes use like different surveys,
yeah,
um, and oftentimes it will tell you, okay, this is not an official assessment, not official results. If you want to know more, you want to like dig a bit deeper, then follow up with a psychiatrist or a
yeah,
therapist.
yeah.
So to get a baseline, because I do it. If I'm experiencing some sort of pain in my leg, okay, yeah, well, this is happening. Then all right, well, let me go to the doctor. Okay, AI was like, all right, well, maybe this is this, and this. I have been noticing that I am lightheaded as well, but I'm not taking that advice. It's like official or like end all. So I do seek treatment. So AI can be beneficial with coping skills, connecting to resources, but
Connecting the resources I like.
yeah,
I like, but I think the human touch. There's nothing
mm-hmm,
like talking to another human being
correct,
to getting the human sympathy and empathy.
yeah.
It's nothing like that. Well, Dr. Hughes, I really appreciate you coming on. This has been a wonderful conversation to pick your brain. So successful, so driven, and just a young lady who has achieved so much success. Not even 30 years old. Imagine the beast that's going to come out by age 30. Oh my gosh, I hope a tide check, a corporate check, kind of split it between the two Virginia and the South Long. But I hopefully you'll be able to, when you get a little more settled in your career, we'll come back partner in, you know, the community to try to do some awareness because I think
Mm-hmm,
it's really needed. I think
definitely.
the church and the psychiatric community, both clinical therapists and psychiatrists, really need to get together to address some of our issues. And I think Dr. Yana Van Sant was really on something about, mental health in the black community. We spiritualize way too much.
Yeah.
And we churches have become, I mean, preachers, we're not therapists. You ain't got no business trying to tell folk things gonna get better when you ain't gonna change. The basis of you
Mm-hmm.
gotta change something, don't you?
You gotta put in the work.
Got to put in the work, and something's got to change.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do the same thing over and over again. Come to church, shout, feel better. Come to church, shout, feel better.
Yeah.
Address some of these issues. Dr. Hughes, I appreciate you coming
Of
on,
course. Thank you for
and
having
I'm
me.
really appreciative of this young lady. I was so impressed by her, and Southern and Northern Virginia, Fairfax County has a jewel,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what she keep talking about. Folk leaving Mississippi. Some of y'all need to stay. When you get your education, come and invest. You might have to
Uh-huh. Of
struggle,
course.
you know.
Leave, explore more, return,
Eventually come back. But
and
Dr.
bring your
Hughes,
gifts
thank
with
you
you.
so much for
Yeah.
coming. And hopefully I'm going to get to share this